One of the teachers was like, you know what? I'm a teacher. This is my job. And I love it. I have fun. So when you get older, you're going to have a job. So try to find a job that you're going to have fun with and it won't feel like work.
Welcome back to another COVID edition of Nerds and Around, guys. I'm your host, Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
And we have today with us a creator series featuring the awesome
Javier Cruz Winnik.
Hey!
What is up, Javier?
Longtime friend of the show. Friend of the people, man.
Give us your origin story, who you are, what have you worked on. I mean, we know you're the creator behind Reason to Smiles. What do you do?
Yes.
Give us a reason to smile.
Yes. What makes you smile? You know, like.
Yes.
Oh.
I've been drawing since I was a kid. Watching cartoons and stuff like that, and I was like, just something that most kids enjoy. I'm sure all you guys have done the same thing. But I was at a camp with the Boys Club of New York, and in the mornings from 9 to 12 we do academics, and then from 12 to after lunch, maybe like 12:30 to 5, we did athletics. So we always wanted to get past the academics to get to the fun stuff. But one of the teachers was like, you know what? I'm a teacher. This is my job, and I love it. I have fun. So when you get older, you're gonna have a job. So try to find a job that you're gonna have fun with, and it won't feel like work. And I said, I love to draw. I want to be an artist. And ever since then, I was just like, I need to draw. I need to find a way to make money off of drawing. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make my own book. I'm not gonna let nobody tell me I can't do this comic thing. So again, I put my one foot in front of the other, and I made it work. One of the inspirations I got to shout out though is Joe Prado, inker for DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like him and Ivan Reyes are like the dynamic duo of DC Comics. Joe's a really nice guy, and I would see him at shows, and I would always compliment him on his work, and I followed him on DeviantArt. So he was kind enough to return that energy. Some people you give that energy to and they just brush you off. But like I said, he's a good dude. He ended up giving me that energy back. So one day he saw me at a convention. You guys all know me from the shows. I'll get back to that in a second. But he saw me at a show and was like, stop doing this. We already know you can do this. Do a comic. And I said, whoa. Joe Prado just told me to stop doing something and start doing something else, and it's something that he does. So I think I'm gonna try to do that. So I started putting my energy towards making my own books, and then here we are. What is it? 7 years later, with 3 books and working on a novel. 25,000 words into it already. Working on short stories to help support my supporting cast in my books, so that way all those different ethnicities get some love, and trying to continue to put one foot in front of the other.
Tell us about the inspiration for A Reason to Smile, the children's book that you came out with. And I love the art style, everything which you came out. And I remember meeting you before I started doing conventions. It was at WinterCon. Still have that Stormtrooper piece you did. But you were telling me about the book, and then I remember seeing you again. I was like, oh, okay, I got to pick this up. And I remember I picked up the first and the second book, because at the time that I picked up for you, you already also came out with the second book. So tell us about the inspiration for the series.
So I ended up working at a charter school in Queens called Our World Neighborhood Charter School. And they had a really great program, a lot of great things going on. But one thing that I started to notice was that there were books about everybody, from Africa to Asia to the Middle East to Europe to South America. But they had no books about Caribbean people, and definitely no books about Puerto Rican people. And I said to myself, I was like, yo, I want to see a book about Puerto Ricans. Why do I not see? We've been one of the biggest factors to why New York is the way it is right now, in the positive sense. Hip-hop wouldn't be hip-hop without Puerto Rican people contributing to hip-hop. The salsa scene, food, energy, summertime. What do you hear? What is the one thing you hear when the summertime starts? When it even gets a portion of warmth,
Bro, it wasn't even the summertime. It was when my mom got up on Saturday mornings and put the music on and it started cleaning, and that's what you heard.
All of us have that story. All of us have that story, and like you hear it in the passing in the street and everything. So I'm like,
Barbershops getting loud, dominoes getting slapped.
Yeah, man. So it's like, how do we have this as part of the city, but we don't have books that represent any of that? So I said, okay, let me start trying to figure out how I can do that. And one of the things that I wanted to do was dispel a lot of things that are in the world that we have issues with, especially our immediate circle, right? So like people, kids would be like, oh, I'm a kid, I can't do that. Oh, well, that's for girls, I won't do that. Or that's for boys, I don't do that. Or this or that. And it's like, I wanted to try to find a way to give support to kids that felt like they couldn't do something because it wasn't supposed to be done. Another thing that came to mind was like how there were a couple kids in the school that would always have that new kid come to school, and they would be the one to go and introduce themselves and get them acclimated to the school. And these are like some of the popular kids. So I was like, you know what, that's a really good role model and a really good example that more kids need to see. So that was another thing that I wanted to add to the mix. As kids, we were all told, don't do that. That's for kids. Or, when you get into the real world, you can't do that anymore. And it's like, what happened to our imaginations? What happened to our creativity? What happened to our reckless abandon for fun and for things that didn't harm anybody else? Those are other things that I want to, help to reinvigorate in our our collective, and give kids that notion that, I can still do this when I'm in middle school. I can still do this in high school. I can still do this in college. I can be this person and not have to worry about somebody else telling me I can't be that person. So those are a lot of the things that weigh on me whenever I write any of my stories. And then I'm a New Yorker. I've been here since 1988. Actually, no, 1986. I've been in Manhattan since 88. And the city is another character, just like Gotham City is a character, just like Metropolis is a character. They all got that because of New York.
Yeah. But Javier, my question to you, for a reason to smile. So I see that it's beginning, early, intermediate readers. Is that all just one stage, or do you have 3 different versions?
So at this point, I have 3 different versions. So and it was very purposeful to have it that way, because when I did the first book, I wanted to try to make a story and a book that had an opportunity for older people to enjoy it for the visuals, while younger people were able to read the story and get what they got from the story as well. So that's why, if you notice, on one side is just text, on one side is just images, because I wanted the story to speak for itself, and I wanted the art to speak for itself, with the idea that they could be married together and still create a cohesive story. So what I found was, as I was selling the book the first year, a lot of kids were like, this is too easy. I was still selling the book. I sold 500 copies in less than half a year. But
Which congratulations, by the way, on that.
Thank you much. I had the book in October, and then I sold out my 500th book to a school. Actually, it was 10 of them, to a school in like April. So as I was selling the book, I would have kids that would like, tell me this or that. I was like, oh, you don't like it? Okay, that's cool. You don't have to like it, but tell me why, so I can understand, and maybe I can make you a better book. Mm-hmm. So they would tell me what they thought. Parents would tell me why they wouldn't buy it for their kids. So I said, okay, these are the things that I'm going to address in the next book.
What's that been like to now have a book that you do read to your daughter that she's like, oh snap, like daddy, like me, this. What's that been like for you?
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, because it makes me feel validated in everything that I do, because she can recite the story. She doesn't even like know the words. She's 3 years old, and I'm like trying to teach her how to read now because she knows letters really well.
Right.
But she would repeat the things that I would say. So like, my wife went to the park yesterday, and she was like, yo, do you know what your daughter did today? She enacted one of the scenes in the book.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a part where,
that's awesome.
So with the parenting scene, it goes, mommy buys some water to drink the thirst away. Luisa loves to climb up top and watch the people play. So at that point, she's on the top of one of the jungle gyms, and she's just watching people play basketball and seeing the two kids that she wants to eventually become friends with or interact with.
Mhm.
So she went up to the top of the thing and was like, she's still too short to climb to the very top, but she climbed as high as she can go. She says, I'm just going to watch. I want to watch the people play like Luisa, mommy.
Oh man.
Oh man, that must have been great.
Yo, that made my year.
But I noticed over the years, and it's not to say like again that you were a bad artist when we first met, because dude, your stuff was killing it.
To be fair,
I have to say, I've
me
seen
and my nephew still have some of your pieces. Like come on.
The evolution of your art style is just, it went from, oh, this dude is dope, to like, whoa, fantastic. I mean, you even now do like, what was it? I remember we were talking, you're playing with the water paints now too for the background and everything. I mean,
Yep.
How was that journey in finding your art style?
So there's a couple things. First off, J.G. Jones, and I name drop him because he was somebody that I was at a panel watching how to, just see what he had to say, because the man is, in my opinion, the man is a genius. He did all those 52 covers, and he did the Wanted book that they made a movie out of.
Yeah, that was dope.
The book is crazy better, but he basically said, don't worry about creating an art style, draw correctly. The way your mind interprets drawing correctly is your style. And I said, yo, that makes so much sense, because I see things differently than you do, and this person and that person and the other person. So when I make it right.
That is such an Uncle Iroh simple piece of, like, it's so simple but so profound. It's like, why didn't I think of that before?
For real.
That is awesome.
But yeah, with the art style and the evolution, it's like, I don't ever want to stay the same. I don't ever want to be on the same path. It gets boring for me. Other people might be okay with, like, having their routine and everything, and like I have my routine, but it's like, routine for me is structure, which is great. But then how do I make it fun? That's when you try to do that growth. That's when you try to see, what else can I do? Because I'm capable of more than just this. Whatever you see me as right now, I can do more. Now, what I did with Making Friends, which is the 3rd volume, I decided to try my hand at creating what we know to be like animated cells. So rather than just doing everything digitally, I said, okay, let me give it a little bit more life. Let me give it more of that separation of space. And all the characters that are moving and that are doing things, they're computer colored, still penciled and inked by hand, but computer colored. And then the entire background is painted. So I'll pencil it in, I'll scan the pencils, I will ink the characters, I'll scan the characters, and then I will completely paint the whole background, leaving out the characters. So then what I can do with the inks on the computer now, I just level it out so all the pencil work is gone and it's just those inked characters, put them on their own layer, color them, and then drop that layer right on top of the watercolors, and boom, that's a new illustration. And then that's going to transition into Luisa having her own issues again, but now it's with the family. And Papi's going to be like, yo, you need to chill out. Go and do some research about why the building next to where we grew up at is named Campos Plaza. And why is that one named, after this person? And why is that one named after that person? Go do some research. Go find out why we are the way we are. Go find out why what we have is amazing, and why you need to stop being a brat right now. So it's going to be her then going through the travels and going to the projects and going to different streets and finding out, why does this street have this name? Why does this building have this name? And it's only going to be in our neighborhoods. It's only going to be in our buildings, because I'm not, we have all these buildings named after all these heroes of ours, but we don't know who they are. Exactly. We don't know why they're important. Why does, why did we used to have so much crack in this building, but it's named after somebody so important? How do we not know the importance of this person? How do we not have that inspiration to help us move forward? Why is there not a plaque in this building that talks about and commemorates who this person is? And then that way she can start seeing all these things about how far we've come and how much we have and how easily it could be taken away.
Do you ever, or is there any plans to ever have this crossover into an animation, A Reason to Smile?